So now it's time to start with the CSS part of the project, which is the generate a random password application. So for that we need to use this .css file. Inside this particular style.css file, first I'm going to reset the default styling of the browser. So margin is going to be 0, then padding is going to 0, and then I'm going to use the box sizing to actually border box. After that I will be applying the font family, that is this particular one, which is going to be sans serif. Then you can see the default styling of the browser is changed. Then I'm going to use here a body tag, means the body is selector, and after that I will be adding here a background, that is this one, and then I will be using the linear gradient function. So to right, comma, and then here I will be adding the 3 times 0, then hash symbol 0 1 3 5 6 t, and after that I will be using here a hash symbol 019 f55, right? So I'm going to here using view and word wrap so that things will come back to the next line. Okay, and after the body tag, means the background, here I will be adding a color, that is this particular hash symbol 3 times f. Control save it, then you can see the gradient color effect is actually applied, and also the font color is also applied, which is the white font color. Then I will be here using the container, and then I need to start the block of the code. Then display is going to be flex, and then I will be here using the align item, which is going to be center, and then I will be here using the justify content, which is going to be center. So you can see now the things is actually moved to the center of the screen. After that I will be here applying the style code for the container -random -password. Then I need to start the block of the code, which is this particular like class, that is this one, container -random -password. So now I'm going to apply the style code for this particular one. So margin is going to be like 12%, right? And then I will be adding the width is going to be 90%, and then I will be adding the max width property, which is going to be like 700 pixel. Okay, this is what we need to do with the content random password class. After that I will be adding the code for the display class. Display, I need to select the class selector display, that is this particular one. Inside that I will be adding the width property, so width is going to be like 100%, right? And then I will be applying the margin top property, so margin top is going to be like 50 pixel. Okay, and after that I will be adding the margin bottom property, which is going to be 30 pixel, not auto, it is going to be 30 pixel. And then I will be adding the background, that is this particular one, hash symbol 3 times f. After that I will be applying the color property, so color is going to be hash symbol 3 times 3. You can see now the display is actually taking a little bit shape. After that I will be adding the align items, which is going to be center, and then I will be adding the justify content, which is going to be space between, and then I will be adding the padding. So padding is going to be like 26 pixel, then 20 pixel. So you can see from like padding is actually applied from top and bottom. If I actually want to increase the padding, I can here add 46 pixels. So from top and bottom it will increase it. Actually 26 seems good. If I actually increase it here 40 pixel, actually I can here add here like 5 pixel, not 50, but 5 pixel is seems to be too small, so I will be adding here 25 pixel. That looks amazing. Okay, so after the padding it's time to add the border radius, so border radius is going to be 5 pixel. Okay, so that is for the display. So it almost looks like the final version. Now it's time to actually style the input type, so container. But before that I need to apply the code for the container h1 element, so container h1, and then I need to also apply the code for the container h1, and under the h1 tag we have the span tag, so we need to apply the style code to both of them. So first I'm going to complete the code for the container h1, so font weight is going to be like about 500, and then I will be adding the font size, which is going to be 45 pixel. And then here I will be adding the container h1, so color is going to be like hot pink. And after that I will be adding the border bottom, that is this one, border bottom, which is going to like 4 pixel solid border, and it is also type hot pink, means the color is going to be hot pink. So you can see now the style is applied to this particular one, which is the span element. Okay, and now it's time to apply the code for the display input, because right now the input is looking very weird, so we need to actually style it. So inside the input, first I need to set the border to 0. So border is actually removed, then outline is also going to be 0, and then I need to increase the font size, which is going to be like 24 pixel, and then I will be adding the flex property, which is going to be 1. So you can see now password is looks like in this particular way. Next, I'm to actually style this particular font awesome icon. This particular icon is not actually appearing at the right side of the input type, whereas it is actually appearing at the middle. So I need to fix this particular problem, but don't worry, first I'm going to style the button, then I will taking care of the button. So here I will be adding the container. We're going to fix that particular icon in a moment. First I'm going to complete the code for the button. So border is going to be 0, then outline is going to be 0, and here I will be adding the background, which is going to be hot pink, not honeydew, it's like hot pink color. So actually I have to use here hot pink. After that I need to add the color, which is going to be white color, so hash symbol 3 times F. Then I need to increase the font size, which is going to be like 22 pixels. Okay, and then I will be here using the font weight, which is going to be like 300, not 3000, is going to 300. Then display is going to be flex, and after that I will be adding a align items property, which is going to be center, and then I will be here using the justify content, which is going to be center, and after that I will be adding the padding. So padding is going to be like our 16 pixel from top and bottom, from left and right it is going to be 26 pixel, and then I will be adding the border radius, which is going to be 5 pixel, and then I need to use the cursor to pointer 1. So control save it. Now you can see the button is looks like the final version of the application. The only thing that we need to fix is this particular icon, because right now it is not appearing at the right side of the input type. So I need to fix this particular problem. I have added here a property inside the display, which is this particular one. Padding from top and bottom is going to 26 pixel, and from left and right it is going to 12 pixel. It's actually 20 pixels. Okay, so I have used here align items and justify content property, but I didn't use the display flex property. So that is the reason it is actually giving us the problem. So now the icon is actually appearing at the right side. This is our version of the application, which we are actually developing in this module, and this is the final version. So yeah, it almost looks like the final version. Just only thing is this particular underline. So it is totally a small thing. It can be changed depending upon the recreation of the code. So yeah, that marks the completion of the CSS part for this generate a random password application. From the next lecture onwards, we're going to start with the JavaScript part, so that when we click on this particular generate password button, it should display the password inside the input type, which is actually going to be the 8-character long password. And also I'm going to tell you how you can increase the length of the password as per your need. So all of this stuff I'm going to teach you in the next lecture. So now it's time to start with the JavaScript part for the generate a random password application. So for that we need to use the script.js file. In previous lecture we have successfully completed the CSS part of the project. So now it's time to start the JavaScript part, and this file is already linked with the index.html with this particular script.js file. So first I need to create the variables to actually bind the 3 elements, that is this particular input type, the button, and this particular copy button. So we need to get the references of the IDs inside the JavaScript variable. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply copy the ID of the password box, that is this particular one. This is our input type. It is going to be represented as a password box. So I'm going to copy the ID, that is password, and coming back to script.js, and here I will be creating a const variable, and I'm going to name this variable as password box is equal to, then I will be using the function document.getElementById, by ID, and then I'm going to pasting the name of the element, which is the password. Then again I need to create another const variable, which is like document.getElementById, and then here I need to specify the ID of the button, that is this particular generate password button. So the ID of this button is actually btn. So yeah, it is actually btn. So here I need to specify the btn, and then I need to here specify the another response. This is for the copy button. So copy button, then this is going to be equals to document.getElementById, and then I need to specify the ID here for this particular one. So coming back to the index.html, so this is the ID, copy. So I'm going to copy this particular ID, coming back to the scriptor.js, and now pasting the name of the ID. So finally, we have the references to all of the three elements inside the JavaScript variable. It's time to set the listener to the button. So when we click on the button, then we want to actually perform the generated password logic. Okay, so here I will be adding a listener, add event listener, and then here I want to listen to the click listener of the button, and then I need to here call the function which is like a callback. So generate, and I'm going to name it as generate password. Okay, so it's time to create this particular function. So I will be here using the function expression code generate password. This is going to be equals to an arrow function, anonymous arrow function. So I'm going to use it. All right, and then what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create the variables. So it is like const chars. So this particular variable is going to hold all the values that will be included inside the password. So if I actually create, like you can see here, we have capital letters, small letters, numbers, and special characters. So all of this we need to specify it in this particular char variable. So coming back to the version of the application, so like capital ABC, then small ABC, then we have numbers, and then we have special characters. So we need to initialize all of them. So I'm going to copy and pasting it so that it will save a lot of time. So I'm going to paste it here. So you can see this will be the initialization code. So this is the initialization code. So you can see we have all the capital letters, then we have small letters, then we have numbers, and then we have all the special characters that will be included inside the password. Okay, so now I'm going to reduce the size of the Visual Studio Code window. After that, we need to create the variable that is going to hold the generated password. So it is going to be like empty, because we need to use it inside the for loop, and this variable is created by using the let keyword, because the value of this particular password will be updated multiple times, because whenever we click on this particular generate password button, every time a new value is generated, so that new value which is generated will be stored inside this particular password variable with the use of the iteration. All right, so that is why we need to create it with the use of the let keyword. Then we need to create here a for loop, a traditional for loop. So here I will be using the let and the counter. So first the counter will be started with the 0, then the value of I is going to be smaller than 8. So if you want to actually create a long password which is like more than 8 characters, so you just need to specify like 10, right? And if you want to create a password of like 20 character long, then you need to specify a value 20, or you can even here specify a value variable like const, and you can simply add here length of password. It is going to be equals to like 8, and then you can use this particular variable here which is going to be like length of password. Right now the value of the length of password variable is 8, so it will gives you the 8 character long password. After that we need to increment the value of the counter. So for that we need to use the increment operator. So now we have the basic structure of the loop is set it up. Now it's time to add a logic inside the like for loop, so that we can get a random character. First we need to actually create here a password. So not set, it is like our password, that is this one, the variable. Then we need to add or initialize it with the password. So you can say that it is actually appending the values, means we're going to add and also initialize it with the new values. We will be adding a value, and also we are going to initialize a new value to the password variable, or I can say that in short we are appending a value. All right, then here we need to use the math dot random. So I already explained in the previous project how math dot random is actually working. Then we need to multiply it with the value of the chars dot length. So it will basically gives us a random number. So that particular random number is actually in a form of floating point. So we need to wrap it inside the math dot floor function. So here we will be using the math dot floor function, right? So this will basically gives us a positive value, so that we get a positive single digit decimal value, because this will be used for that particular purpose. You can see returns the greatest integer. Once we get a random number, like we get here a 3 or maybe 5, then we need to print the value of that particular one, because this particular will be used to get the values from this chars array. It is actually a group of string, means it is actually a group of character that form a string, and string is also behaving like an array. So that is why we have used here a length property. So it is like an array, so we are getting these numbers. These will be treated as an index. So with the use of that index, we can now print the values. So for printing the value, we need to use the char add function. So again, I'm going to wrap it inside the round brackets, and then I will be here using the char add function. This will basically gives us a character. So from where we want to get the values, so chars dot character. If I console log it, like if I console log it, console dot log, and now if I actually print the value of the password, that is this particular variable, if I control save it, and now if I click on it and if I press the F12 key, I just simply want to increase the size of the browser, press the F12 key, then you can see, so you can see this is the version of the application that we're actually building inside this particular module. So if I click on this particular one, so you can see the loop is executed 8 times. So you can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So loop is executed 8 times. If I actually here increase the value to like 10, and now if I come back here to actually reduce the size a little bit of the console, and now if I click it, then you can see the loop is executed 10 times. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Actually it is not done. Actually I didn't save it. Now if I click it, then you can see now the loop is executed 10 times. Okay, so you can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. And now if I increase the value to like 20, then it will give us a 20 character long password. You can see here, so you can change it as per your need. I will be here using the 8. Control save it. So now we are successfully able to generate the password, which is this 8 character long password. So our logic is working perfectly fine, means the loop is executing and also it's actually storing the value inside this password variable. Alright, and now what we want to do here, we want to just simply update the value of the password box. So this is our password box, which is actually our input type. So what I'm going to do here, after the end of the for loop, so here this is our for loop is actually ending it here. So I will be using the password box dot value, and this is going to be equals to password. Okay, and now if I control save it, now if I click on it, then you can see we are successfully able to printing the password inside the input type. Now the next thing is we want to add the listener to this copy button, so that when we click on copy, then we want to actually perform the copy functionality. Also we want to add a functionality, so if it is actually an empty, then if I click on it, then we need to add this particular condition also, that will show an alert box that no password to copy, please generate a password first, because right now it is empty. This particular thing we also need to achieve, because we are successfully able to generate the password, but that listener part is not added inside the version of the application that we are actually building in this particular module. Add the copy functionality to the project right now, just like we have in the final version of the application. So if I click on this copy icon, then you can see password copied to clipboard, and if I open a new tab and paste it, then you can see the copied password is actually pasted inside the URL section of the browser. So this is the functionality that we want to actually add inside the project. So coming back to our version of the application, so here at the end of this particular button listener, so I have already created the variable at the top, which is the copy button. So here I need to actually spell it properly, copy button, and then I will be here using the copy button dot add event listener, and then I will be listening to the click listener, and here I need to provide the callback. So I will be here using the arrow function. So like here I will be using the arrow function callback, means specifying the arrow function, anonymous function. Okay, and first I will be here using the const variable. So const like password copy is equal to, and here I will be getting the value from the password box dot value dot trim. So I will be removing any extra spaces before and after the text. Okay, means this particular 8 character long password, I will be removing any spaces before and after it. Alright, and then we need to check for the validation, because right now if I refresh the page, This is the final version. If I click on it, then you can see we need to add this particular condition that shows an alert box that the password we need to generate first. So you can see no password to copy, please generate a password first. So we need to add this particular condition as well. Alright, so for that, here I will be using the if. So if not a password, that is this one, password to copy. Okay, so if not a password, it is like if not a password copy. Okay, so here I will be using the alert, and then I will be adding the message. So for the saving of the time, I have already typed the message inside my text editor. So I'm going to copy and pasting it here. This is the condition. No password to copy, please generate a password. And after that, I will be here using the return. Alright. So if there is a password copy exist, means the value existed, then this particular block will not be executed because the condition will become false. And if it is empty, then the condition will execute, because if there is no password, which is this particular condition right now, so this will show an alert box. If I control save it and do it, then you can see now we are successfully able to show the alert box. After that, we need to add the logic for the copy functionality. So I will be here using the navigator. So navigator dot, and then I will be using the clipboard dot. We want to write the text to the navigator clipboard, and what we want to write, we want to write the password to copy value. Password copy value, that is this particular one. And then I will be adding a then functionality method, that is this one. And after that, I will be adding the arrow function. Alright, also I need to add the equality symbol, and then I need to start the block of the code. Okay, instead of that, I need to simply use the alert. Again, alert box, and then I need to add the message. So for the saving of the time, this message is already written in my text editor. So I'm going to paste it. Password copy to clipboard. Okay, so this is for the then. So if I control save it, and now if I actually generate the password, click on it, then you can see password copied to clipboard. Click on OK, and if I open a new tab, paste it, then you can see this is the password that we have copied from this particular input time. It is actually pasted inside the URL section of the browser. So yeah, that marks the completion of this particular project, which is the generate a random password application. We are successfully able to generate the password, and also we have added the copy functionality to the project. So I hope you like this particular module. If you like this module, then leave your review, because your review motivates me to create more awesome and unique projects like this. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next module. Thank you very much.